What's up, guys? The Snowman here, back with another tennis informational video. It's my Davis Cup explained. The Davis Cup, one of the few team events that we get in the sport of tennis, so I'll talk about what it is, its history, we'll go over the schedule, the format, and much more. So what exactly is the Davis Cup? It's the premier international team event in men's tennis. It's run by the International Tennis Federation and is contested annually between teams from competing countries in a knockout format. So basically it's a men's team event that takes place every single year. Players are representing their country just like they would in the Olympics. Some people call it the World Cup of Tennis, although it has lost a little bit of luster in modern times. Maybe not quite as prestigious as it used to be. You may have heard of its equivalent on the WTA or the Women's Tour, the Billie Jean King Cup, formerly known as the Fed Cup, but the Davis Cup was invented and first played all the way back in the year 1900. It used to only allow amateurs to compete up until 1973 when professionals became eligible as well, but yeah, we're battling for global tennis supremacy in a team format. 2022 saw a new record, 148 nations enter the Davis Cup. That made it the world's largest annual international team competition in sports. However, not all those countries compete in the final round of the event. This is kind of how it's broken up. The world group is at the top. Those are the best teams who are competing for the grand prize throughout the year. And then we have several regional levels or zones, Group 1, Group 2, 3, and 4. You can kind of think about this like how promotion and relegation works in soccer or football. The better teams can move up between zones from year to year, while the lesser countries may be relegated to lower levels. But again, really that zone at the top is the most important. Schedule wise, there's typically 3 blocks of play throughout the year. First off, usually sometime in March or early on in the season, we have the World Group playoffs. Secondly, we have the group stage or the World Group in September. And then lastly, we have the knockout stage or the finals at the end of the season in November. So let's go in depth with each of these 3 phases, starting with the World Group playoffs. This is when 24 teams are paired up against each other and they play 5-match ties to see who moves on. This is an example of the World Group playoffs from 2021. Seeded nations paired up against unseeded teams. A tie being a series of rubbers, usually 4 singles matches and 1 doubles match, and then rubbers meaning an individual match. So it's best 3 out of 5. Each team has 2 singles players who play the 2 single matches, and then a doubles pairing. We've got our 12 teams which move on to the group stage. And before we talk about the group stage, a quick note about team captains. Each team elects a non-playing captain who nominates a squad of 4 players who compete in each tie. They're basically in charge of setting the lineups. On the day before play starts, the order of play for the first day is drawn at random, and current rules do permit the captain to make substitutions and designate any player to play the last 2 singles rubbers, provided that no first day matchup is repeated. And these were our groups in 2021, 6 groups of 3 teams each. You might notice that's a total of 18 teams, not 12 like we had. Well, that's because the 12 teams from the playoffs joined the 4 semifinalists from the previous year. They all automatically qualify for the group stage, along with 2 wildcard teams announced by the ITF, the International Tennis Federation. So 12 plus 4 plus 2 equals our 18 teams. Each country plays the other 2 teams in their group once in a best 2 out of 3 tie. This is how the group standings look from 2021. Again, 6 groups of 3 teams each. The 6 group winners and the top 2 runners-up advance to the final knockout stage. Total matches won and total sets used as tiebreakers too, as you can see in the runner-up column. But again, the top 8 teams move into the finals, the 8-nation knockout bracket. This is how it shaped up in 2021. It was Russia versus Sweden, Great Britain and Germany, Italy and Croatia, Serbia against Kazakhstan, the 4 quarterfinal matchups. For the final, we play best of 3 ties, so that's 2 singles rubbers and then a doubles rubber if a decider is necessary. The winning quarterfinalists move on to the semis, and then the 2 winners there meet in the Davis Cup final. That's the last fixture in the annual tennis calendar. Again, a best 2 out of 3 series, and the winner there is your Davis Cup champion. This event no longer offers any ATP rankings points for winning matches, but of course the winning side receives epic bragging rights, national pride, and then in 2023, a total player prize purse that equates to $15 million. Thanks a lot for watching my Davis Cup explained video. If you still have questions, please leave a comment. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And as always, subscribe to the Snowman Sports Media for more sports content, specifically in the tennis realm. And I'll be back soon with more very soon. Cheers.